Hola muchachos, esta es la explicación por el proyecto Los Países Hispanos de Sudamérica. Alright, so en el proyecto vas a presentar con un compañero sobre un tema cultural de un país de Sudamérica. Trabajan juntos, pero sus calificaciones son diferentes. Right, so por ejemplo, en el proyecto tú sacas una A y tu compañero saca una C. So tú y tu compañero trabajan juntos, se apoyan, you help each other, pero sus calificaciones son diferentes. Con los países de Sudamérica, assume we know nothing, which, honestamente, most of your classmates know nothing about Sudamérica. It's not your fault. You guys have never been taught it. It's not in our curriculum anywhere. So make sure you keep it in mind as you present. Con tu compañero van a crear una presentación. Pueden usar PowerPoint, Google Slides, Prezi o otro programa. Cada compañero tiene sus propios slides, right? So el trabajo es diferente, es individual. Nada más copian y pegan todo en una presentación. En la presentación, no frases completas y en español, keywords, main points en la presentación. Usa muchas fotos. Las fotos son importantes y necesarias para enseñar a tus compañeros. La meta es 2 minutos en español. Hablas por 2 minutos en español y es individual. So 2 minutos tú y 2 minutos tu compañero. 4 minutos en total. Para recibir una A, dices información que no está escrita en el PowerPoint. Right, so your PowerPoint is bullet points, keywords y en español. Y para recibir la A, dices información no escrita. Muchos alumnos explican una foto. ¿Okay? Tienes que escribir 3 preguntas de la información que presentas. En español, and it'll be in a note sheet. Es un note sheet por grupo. So 3 preguntas tú, 3 preguntas tu compañero. En total, 6 preguntas en español. Lo más importante es, usa vocabulario que tus compañeros entiendan. Mi acronym is KISS. Keep it simple, students. I'm going to explain this more a little bit farther down, but keep it simple, right? A lot of estudiantes want to have this presentación at this nivel académico. You're not quite there yet. Your ultimate goal always is to be understood. So you need to make sure that when you're doing this, you keep it simple. It's super importante. Alright, so to script, there is a writing component. I am not grading the writing component. You will get feedback from me on the writing component, and it's a recommendation part, but I won't be grading this. La única calificación es la presentación. Mi recomendación para llegar a 2 minutos es un script, o 2 párrafos, right? So, en total, 200 palabras en español. And I say 200 palabras because we over-prepare. So, you are not memorizing a script. You're not coming up here and just regurgitating information. Your presentación is your note card. So you're going to use your presentación that has your bullets, your keywords, your main ideas, and you're going to then use what you've researched and then what you prepared. No note cards, no note sheets with you, just the presentación, and then teach the classmates about your topic. So you won't go up there and remember all 200 words, but if you can write 200 words, you'll remember enough to hit 2 minutos. Okay? Unas pistas, usa fotos por vocabulario nuevo. Imágenes son súper importantes. Fotos, imágenes, videos. Again, we know nothing. That's your assumption. And the easiest way to demonstrate to us something new es con una foto. Escribe fechas en palabras. So, por ejemplo, if you have an artista like Juanes, and you say, Juanes nació el 2 de diciembre 1978. You lose points for saying 1978 in English. Now, most of you don't know how to say that in Espanol because we don't say it often. That's okay. So escribe 1978, 1978, just like that in tu presentación. Incluye un mapa del país o región. Incluye información básica del país. The more slides and visuals you have, the more you have to talk about. You have seen enough presentations and given enough presentations. The simplest slides always are the best. So keep your slides simple. I'd rather you have more slides with limited information than everything crammed into few slides. And then this is where the keep it simple comes into play. When you're writing your script, start in Espanol. Most of you will do your research in English, and I get that. That makes sense. Don't worry about that. But when you go to actually write from your research in English to your script, a lot of students will write their script in English and then try to translate from English to Spanish. But there's a problem with that. You can write at a really high academic level in English. You cannot write there yet in Espanol. So for example, let's say you have the awesome city Buenos Aires, Argentina, okay? And in your research, you found out that it was founded in, 1402, or maybe say 1502, and it's a very large city that has a lot of flowers and flowers, plants, and trees throughout it, especially where they have fountains. Okay, so in your English part, you write, Buenos Aires was founded in 1502. It is a very large metropolitan city that has lots of flowers, plants, and trees throughout the city, and beautiful landscapes surround the many fountains. Now say that in Spanish. So what students do is they get frustrated because they can't say what they wrote in English and Espanol. And then they go to Google Translate, and they just give up and get more frustrated, and Google Translate the whole thing. And then I'm going to tell them, you didn't write this, I can't grade this because it's not your work. Okay, so a more simple thing to do is to keep it simple. So taking the same information of Buenos Aires, right? You can say Buenos Aires lo construyeron, which is a cognate, construir, like constructed, cognate, perfect, and you'd write out 1502 en tu presentación. Es una ciudad muy grande y bonita. Tiene muchas flores, plantas y árboles. Same exact point, much more simple, so easier to say. Okay? We're going to spend quite a bit of time on that. I'm going to show you an example as a class. We're going to break it down. We're going to go through. All right? So we're going to work on that, but you need to keep that in mind as you go. Okay? En tu papel hay un itinerario. So this is los objetivos por cada día. Estamos en día 1. So hoy empiezas tu investigación. All right. La rúbrica. El proyecto vale 60 puntos. So in la información, you have students presented a variety of accurate information and added information verbally. So something that's not directly written on the slide, but it can be represented visually or highlighted briefly. So here, most students will explain a picture, or they'll have a keyword, for example, maybe there'll be fashion for Buenos Aires, and then they'll explain all the different fashion people there, or they'll explain the prominence that it's had in this idea of fashion, okay? Organización is just that your presentation, no confusions, the visuals, words, speaking parts, everything matched. The big thing here, that it was organized with color and photos. So a lot of students try to get really fancy and creative in the colors of their presentation. Okay, my projector bulb is dying. It's gonna go boop one of these days. So don't go crazy with your colors. Keep a light background and a dark font, or we won't be able to see it. And the vocabulario, that you used appropriate vocab for class and unknown vocab was explained with English. Again, fotos, fotos, fotos. I cannot emphasize this enough. Imágenes, videos, super importante. La presentación tiene dos partes. So the student had, parte 1 is the student had minimal or no communication errors and demonstrated that he or she is able to utilize vocabulary, grammar, and cognates to deliver information. So this is the effort component. Okay? Did you do your research? Did you organize your research? And did you deliver that information to the classmates? Not perfectly, right? Not in this extremely high level, but did you do each step? The last part of this grade is the information presented was prepared and written completely by the student. And that I cannot emphasize enough, because students are already nervous to do this project because you have nothing in front of you but your PowerPoint or whatever presentation tool you choose and your classmates. And so if you go into Google Translate and you put it in there, then you don't even know what you're saying. So now you're nervous, you don't even know what you're saying, you're trying to regurgitate information. It doesn't go well. I promise you it's not pretty when that happens. If you put the work in the beginning, the effort in the beginning, and you simplify, then your presentation will be smooth. Okay? Presentación parte 2 is that you spoke for 2 minutos, and then your note sheet, you have to have your 3 preguntas, and then again, just to reiterate that you have to add information verbally. One of the questions on your note sheet has to be the information you're adding verbally. So you need to plan this out and think ahead. Okay? So if I want to talk about the fashion in Buenos Aires, and that's where I'm going to add in different fashion designers that are famous, that live there or are from there, different styles that's become famous because of Buenos Aires and their designers, right? Then that would be one of the questions that I will have on my note sheet. So that's a pretty brief rundown of the proyecto. Any other preguntas, make sure you talk to your compañero or you talk to me. But yeah, that's what I got for you. All right. Adios.